Dude, Garrett, good to have you on, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm super excited.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. So, thank you actually for taking the time to crawl out from underground, which is where your Twitter bio says. I love that. But you actually like didn't start with underground logistics. So Pipe Dream is for underground, but you didn't start there. That wasn't your vision. I was reading about how you came to this, and you started from like how can we get to teleportation, right? And
Yeah.
then you coined the term hyperlogistics. So can you tell me like how you came up with Pipe Dream and kind of how you worked backwards from teleportation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just kind of doing startups out of college. Just, I taught myself how to code, loved doing like little SaaS things. And then a company that I was consulting for R&D asked me to come full time to manage a pivot and run biz dev for them. And I was like, I don't know if like I'm a full-time employee kind of guy, but I took it. I was like, okay, I want to like take it. Let's go 2 years and like incubate myself and just focus on what industry am I best positioned to get into early that's going to explode over the next few decades, and then just live there for as long as I can. And so took the full-time job, was looking at different industries and realized logistics is holding back the types of businesses you can build so much. That is where the most change is needed, and there's not change happening. So we started thinking about it. We're like, okay, what's the end state of logistics? Teleportation. Once you have teleportation, logistics get solved, instant distribution everywhere. But what's something on this side of teleportation that if you could accomplish that, teleportation becomes less interesting, but is still possible with the tools we have around us today?
Hmm.
And that's what we call hyperlogistics. And to use an internet analogy, we're kind of at the point of delivery that we were with the internet, where remember, I don't know if everyone remembers, you used to could download a movie, but it would take like 6 hours to download from the
Yeah.
internet. And so you would only do it as like a special occasion, only if that was like your only option. And then you would save that movie on your hard drive because you never know when you're going to need to download it again. So
Hmm.
you're managing all these files on your computer, you're servicing them on the computer, and you're keeping everything in your local storage out of convenience. But with the internet, when you're able to download really quickly and then also just as frictionlessly upload really quickly back to the network, you didn't have to store as much on your local computer. And your local computer was just where you handled things and managed things, but everything else happened in the cloud. And instead of buying a $30 movie, we buy Netflix and we
Hmm.
rent movies, and we use them just when we need them. And they're only on our computer just when we're watching them. That's the world that we see in hyperlogistics. When you're able to upload back into the logistics network and download really quickly, all these tools and consumables that you have in your home out of convenience for local storage, that can move into the cloud. The things cloud is what we call it. And so, for instance, we all have a screwdriver, probably, and we use
Hmm.
it like 5 times a year. And we only own a screwdriver because we need it. When we need it right away. So we have it out of convenience. If we were able to move to hyperlogistics, you wouldn't own a screwdriver. You would just tell Alexa, hey, I need a screwdriver. A really high quality screwdriver would show up at your house in about the time it takes for you to go to your toolbox and find it. You would use it and you'd put it back in this magic box, and it go away. And the amount that you spent on that transaction would be nominal, very small. And if you think about screwdrivers as an example of what this means for atoms, hyperlogistics means that the world maybe has 10 billion, 15 billion screwdrivers,
Hmm.
somewhere there. The world probably only needs 2 million screwdrivers properly distributed. So, their use time is a lot higher. So hyperlogistics means the world has less screwdrivers, so less
Hmm.
resources spent on screwdrivers. Those screwdrivers made can be higher quality because they have a higher value and they'll make more in their lifetime. And people don't have to spend as much of their money on screwdrivers. And that across all sectors we think is where the most potential is for this platform shift. And we realize if we could do anything to make that world possible this decade, it's almost we almost can't afford not to try.
Yeah, for sure. This is like super important to reduce the number of materials, right, needed
Yeah.
to produce all the screwdrivers in the world.